welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Ashley. Today's video I am going to be talking about something that is very exciting to me, that I'm very passionate about, and I feel like can help a lot of people, no matter if you have a chronic illness or not, no matter how young or how old you are or where you're at in life. I feel like this video is for everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about, in a nutshell, it's pretty much like a bucket list, but my friend told her this idea and this new perspective, this new way that I'm living my life. She was like, do you really have to call it the bucket list? That just sounds depressing. So I've changed it. I'm calling it the doer list. And after watching this video, I encourage all of you watching to make your own doer list and apply it to your life. So I guess let's just get started from the beginning. How did I come up with this and what exactly does this mean? So when I was diagnosed with MS, or actually before I got my diagnosis, but when I was having a lot of symptoms, I lost the feeling of the lower half of my body. And I was like, you know, doing the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is like Googling all my symptoms, hoping that there was something better out there than MS as a diagnosis. Long story short, turns out MS is the best thing to be diagnosed with if you lose the feeling of the lower half of your body, and accompanied with your hands feeling like there's gravel shoved in them. So I knew that this is going to be something that was going to be very hard for me to deal with. And I knew from the get-go, no matter what physical symptoms I dealt with, that the battle in my mind was going to be the hardest. So I actually kept my symptoms and my MS and the whole thing a secret from most people for a few months because I was trying to get my mind strong. Sorry if the camera is shaking. I'm using a tripod and apparently my upper body is like super weak and I need to hit the gym. But anyways, so I became determined that I was going to live my life to the fullest, that I was going to take advantage of everything at my hands and be thankful for everything that I could still do. And in this process, I decided to create a bucket list and work on it now. MS, typically, yes, people die from it every day, but it's not, you know, it's not like cancer, it's not a terminal illness. However, I'm very aware that a lot of people lose mobility, and I know that that can happen within the matter of a day or two. And there are things that I want to accomplish in life before I get there. I am a Christian, I do believe in healing, but I also believe that God can use dark times to let his light shine through people's lives if they are open and willing to be used in that sort of way. And I just want to be used by God, no matter what it costs or no matter what it looks like. I want his plan over any good idea that I have up in my head. So I mean, some of these things that I'm about to tell you, they might not happen, you know, if God is just like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But I'm a dreamer and I want to be a doer, put those dreams in action. So, sorry, I'm out in the wilderness and that bird scared the crap out of me. But anyways, so I made this bucket list up in my mind and then I decided to write it down, and I am determined to make as many of these things happen as possible and to constantly be striving to fulfill my purpose and let purpose drive everything that I do in life. And that's pretty much the main part of this video that I want to bring home to everyone that is watching this. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things that are on my bucket list on the top of my head. I just thought that I would shoot this in one of my favorite places. I call this place the Garden of Eden. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it here. So one of my things that I had planned to do was make a YouTube channel to share my journey with MS with everyone else, to show the realness, the good times and the bad times. And so far, we've done that, so I can check that off the list. Another thing which kind of ties into this, which I will be using my YouTube channel to do, is to use my life to help other people in the best way possible, so that everything that I go through can be completely worth it, in hopes to help one person that hears my message, or that sees my life, or that knows me, or, you know, that I just come in contact, even if for only a day or a moment. So that, it's kind of hard to just, like, you know, really know where I'm at with that, but I have had people reach out to me and say, you know, that it's good to know that they're not alone, and, you know, I've been able to connect with people. So that thing on my bucket list, or my doer list, is something that I will continually be working on. Another thing that is on my doer list is to give abundantly and to bless others any opportunity that I get, whether it is paying somebody's bill, whether it is buying somebody like a surprise gift, whether it is just blessing somebody with a small or large amount of money, or, you know, even if it's something as simple as buying somebody's coffee behind me at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. I want to consistently give, and some of the things that are on my doer list, I'm going to be, you know, taking you along with me on the journey. But things like giving, that is something that, you know, scripturally, you should kind of do it in secret, because the whole point is to bless the other person, not to get recognition for your blessing from other people. So that part probably will not be on my YouTube channel, because I just want to make sure that I, you know, stay humble and have a good heart and, like, the right motives. Another thing, this is a huge thing that is on my bucket list, is some of you already know, which you will see in future videos, I'm kind of a hippie, and I absolutely love monarch butterflies, and I actually raise them because all of the monarch butterflies east of the Rockies are currently, and have been for quite some time, at risk of being put on the endangered species list. And if you do not know, they are one of our major pollinators, and they actually have as low as a chance of 5% from making it from egg to butterfly. Once the last generation of the season monarch butterflies are, you know, adults and ready to go, usually this happens like September, October, they make a huge trip all the way from the east of the Rockies to the mountains of Mexico, and they all go to the same place, and there's like millions of monarch butterflies, and the sound of all the monarch butterflies is so beautiful. It sounds like a waterfall, or like a bunch of birds. Like, last generation of the season, I can't remember how many generations are risen up in one season, but they are the biggest. The ones that migrate are the biggest. So I have had monarch butterflies that have made that trip, and they were huge. Like, I have big hands, and they are the size of my hand. So I'm really excited about that. So because of that one, I also want to become fluent in Spanish. I already know a lot of Spanish, well, like a bunch of like random words, but I don't know how to put sentences together. My dad used to be married to a woman from Honduras, and so her and her nephews taught me a lot of Spanish. And then I also lived in California, and most of the kids that I went to school with spoke Spanish, so I learned a lot of Spanish from them as well. But it's time to get fluent. Like, I have no excuse other than straight up laziness for not being fluent in Spanish right now, and that would make the trip to the mountains of Mexico so much easier and just more enjoyable. And like, I like connecting with people. Like, even though people can really get on my nerves sometimes, and like the ugliness of this world breaks my heart, like I still love people. And communication is, don't take this the wrong way, but communication is like one of the most intimate things that you can have with, you know, people of all different relationship types, whether you're friends, whether you're family members, or whether you are in a romantic relationship. Communication is what binds us together. So that is also on my bucket list. Another place that is on my bucket list is this beautiful chapel in South Carolina. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think it's Semez Chapel, but many of you may have already seen what it looks like. Pretty much at the back wall of this chapel, there actually is no wall, and you see the cross the moment you walk into this building. And the back wall is like completely open, and it looks out into this valley, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and I want to go there. So there are a lot of things that I have written on my bucket list. These are just a few. The one that I really wanted to use to close out this video is relationships. I want to make sure that I'm always adding value to somebody's life, and if I have ever wronged anybody in my past, if it is possible, I want to make amends with those people. I've already worked on a few, and I just want to say that it's really important to focus on if it is possible, because sometimes there are very toxic relationships that you can't really make amends with, that you can't reconcile with. And I don't want to condone anybody, you know, just throwing themselves into that toxicity, because there's so much that you lose of yourself, and that affects how you can help other people if you are walking into a toxic relationship or friendship or whatever. But I think that that is really important. And you know, one of the most common terms of this day and age that we hear, or phrases I should say, is YOLO. You only live once. But people use that as more of a way to have fun. And I want to live every day like it's actually my last. So I don't mean to sound morbid, but I want to be prepared for my last day of life. And if I were to prepare for my last day of life, I would want to make sure that I had a healed bond with anybody that I have offended at one point, or if they have offended me. I want to make sure that I bring peace to as many people as I possibly can. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up is, most important, is I don't want to make excuses anymore. I don't want to get to the end of my life and look back at it and be like, wow, I worked a job, paid a bunch of bills, paid rent, lived in a nice place, had all these nice things. I want to look back at the end of my life and see all these experiences that I had and all these relationships that I built and all the places that I saw. And I want to know that I took advantage of everything at my hands. And when I say take advantage, I mean like take the opportunity. I'm not talking about like taking advantage of people, but I want to have that attitude, that go-getter attitude, until my very last breath. And I do not want any morsel of life to go wasted, to go unused. And that was the whole point on why I wanted to make this video, is because if I would have known that right before I turned 30 that I would find out that I have multiple sclerosis, if I would have known that right before 30 I would have lost the feeling in the lower half of my body and then lost the feeling in the upper half of my body, and it had like, you know, some spinal cord damage, there's so much more than that I would have done. And you know, I'm alive and I'm well, and I'm at a part of my health where I'm actually doing a lot better than I have in the past. So I just wanted to share this doer list in hopes that other people can learn from my life and don't wait, because one day I was, quote unquote normal. My body worked fine, and then the next day my world was kind of like turned upside down. And if I can save other people from making the same mistakes that I have, then why not? So for all of you watching this video, I challenge you to make your own doer list and to start now. Do not wait. Do not let the material things of this world become your main focus, because I guarantee you and I promise you that if you live your life that way, at the end of it, you will have nothing but regret, because you can't take any of that with you. So, sorry if this is a super heavy video. I just really felt like sharing this. I hope this helps somebody. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and please share this. Let's make this viral. The world needs more positivity out there, and this is a type of attitude, a type of perspective, a type of way to live life that will bring more positivity into this world, and that's exactly what we need. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!